All right. Thank you guys for jumping on tonight and taking the time out of your evenings. I know sometimes with life, evenings can be hard, especially with kiddos, or even if you don't, it's just a busy time of the day. So thank you so much for jumping on. This call is really geared towards you, first of all, and asking questions that you need answered as new coaches, or maybe even coaches that have been here a while with us, but just have some questions that they would like to get cleared up and ask them live, and I can't wait to hear them. If you guys have questions you already know you'd like answered, feel free to drop them in the chat box. I have a few things I'm going to kick the call off with and just talking about, but have those, if you have questions, feel free to pop them in there, and then I'll hit those up when I'm done with my spiel. But my name is Kinsey, by the way. I'm one of the Diamond Squad members. I have been a Beachbody coach for about 4.5 years now. I'm a 3-star Diamond coach, and I have loved this gig from day one. So my kind of journey into coaching started, I was first a challenger that turned into, I got great results like many of us do with these awesome programs and products. And it just kind of rolled right into me becoming a coach. Not that I didn't tell my coach no a million times before I finally committed, but eventually I said, okay, I'll give it a try. And I've loved it every step of the way. And now I feel so fortunate to be able to teach new coaches coming on board kind of things that worked for me and things I wish I would have done different, which is kind of what I want to talk about tonight in regards to being a new coach and getting started. So the first point I want to make tonight with you guys is, as a new coach, I want you to remember to keep it simple. You are going to get so much amazing information from our upline. A lot of us have been here for 5+ years and have really gone through a lot of different things, gone through the trenches, and have found what works well and what doesn't. And we're still always figuring out new things as well, but we also have great insight as to the trainings that we give you and how we get you started right. So take that training, take it at your own pace, but please remember to just keep it simple, because at the end of the day, our job as coaches is to get people results, whether that be as a coach hosting a challenge group and getting people physical results, or getting them financial results if they decide that they want to jump on and run with coaching as well. So just remember, it's going to get overwhelming, and there's a lot of information. I heard this once when I was a brand new coach. It's like showing up to college, the first day of college, and getting like all your criteria and all your information for your masters on the first day. We kind of do that as coaches. We give you all this information, but it's a learn as you go process. So we want you to take it one step at a time, keep it simple, and remember that your main job as a coach is to get people results. And those vital behaviors of being proof the product works, and inviting and recognition and doing personal development, those are all steps to get people results, right? So just keep that in mind. I feel like that's something I've always done from the beginning, is keep my business simple. No matter how big my team grows or where we go from here, keeping it simple is very, very important. Then number 2, the best piece of advice I'd have for new coaches is to be consistent. Now, consistency looks different for everybody. If you are the type of person that you want to hit the ground running and you want to have this massive goal for yourself by the end of the year, your consistency is going to look different than someone who maybe just wants to earn another $100 a month. But it needs to be consistent no matter what your goal is. Consistency may look like hitting Success Club every month, adding 1 or 2 new coaches to your team every month. It may look like hosting 1 challenge group every 30 days or every 3 weeks. Those are kind of the key pieces that no matter what your goal is in your business, you kind of need to be doing in order to see any kind of growth. Even if it's just to make a couple $100 a month. Those are really, really significant things that'll grow your business quickly if you do from right out the gate. Success Club, running challenge groups, staying consistent with the vital behaviors, all of those things create big, big momentum and big, big growth, even early on. And the earlier you start doing those things consistently, the easier it's going to get as you start to grow your business. And then my third tip is to not be afraid of rejection and not be afraid of hearing the word no, or even having judgment from others. And this is kind of where that personal development piece comes in, because you should be hearing no more often than you're hearing yes. And if you're not hearing no enough, you're not reaching out to help enough people, to be honest. I've heard no countless times over the last 4 years, and time again, those no's truly are just not right now, meaning it's not the right time for that person in your life to join you in what you have. I'm just going to mute the audio real quick. So it's almost like building a thick skin, which is something I have never had. I'm very much a people pleaser. I have to say, before these last 4.5 years of a lot of personal development, I was that person who was very worried about what people thought of me, and still am to a certain extent today. But those are things you have to be willing to let go to in order to help a lot of people. So it's almost like letting go of your own ego. You're like, I'm not here to impress anybody. I'm here to help people. And if you just remember that, the no's, the rejection, all of those things that you will hit along the way won't be as significant and won't kind of throw you off your game as much. So again, personal development's huge with this. And just knowing that you're going to hear no a lot more than you hear yes. I think the thing I hear the most from new coaches when they're getting frustrated after, maybe the first month was so easy and they hit Success Club because their mom and their sister and their bestie signed up, to join their challenge group. And then all of a sudden it's like, nobody. And like, everyone's telling me no. Everyone has cost objections. Everyone says they don't have enough time. You're going to hear it. I hear it to this day. So it's really digging deeper into that person's objection and finding out why they're really telling you no. Ask questions more than you talk. What's that? We were given one mouth and 2 ears, so use your ears a lot more. But those are kind of my top 3. So number 1, keep it simple. Number 2, be consistent with hitting Success Club, which Success Club, again, guys, is 1 challenge pack sale equals 2 Success Club points. Our goal is to get at least 5 points a month just to help move your business forward. It's just kind of a benchmark that Beachbody has created for us. It's not a sales requirement or anything like that. But hitting Success Club, you can also earn 2 points from someone signing up for Shakeology Home Direct. Earning those points, running challenge groups consistently each month, and being consistent with the vital behaviors. And then lastly, don't be afraid of rejection or hearing no. Actually get used to it, embrace it, because you're going to hear it a lot. That is kind of just what I wanted to cover, because I really want to just leave it up to you guys and questions that you had for me. I muted someone, so I'm going to unmute them just so they can unmute themselves. But I would love to hear what questions you guys have, what you're running into, and you're not alone in any question that you ask. There's someone else out there going through the same thing, so don't be afraid. And you can type it in the chat box too if you're more comfortable. Anybody? Or if there's someone on here who is, I see some names who are not newer coaches, but maybe you had something that you want to contribute that was something that you got hung up with as a newer coach that really helped you. So any tips you guys have too, feel free.
I'll jump in real quick.
Go for it.
For those of you guys that don't know me, I'm Kelly. I'm one of the Diamond Squad members too. Sorry, it's super loud in here because I have all 3 of my kids running around like crazy. If you were on early, you heard me screaming at them before I muted myself. But I would say one thing that's, I think, really important for new coaches is to just dive in and try it, and kind of post on social media, run a challenge group, because this is the type of business that you don't learn by watching other people do it. You learn by like diving all in, and you can't just like stick your pinky toe in. Like, you have to go all in. And that's kind of like what I did when I started. Is I gave myself 6 months. I'm like, all right, I'll give it 6 months of going all in and then decide. So I think, and that's what most successful coaches do, is they just go for it. So I think that's like my other tip, is just like put your blinders on and just go all in and go for it. And yeah, which is kind of what your third tip was kind of, but I think it's important not to just collect all the information, but just go for it.
Yeah, great advice. And I've seen that before, where coaches get started and they're so eager to soak up all this information and all this awesome training, and they go through every piece of, email, everything I send them or whatever we throw at them, they read it all, but they don't take action. And you can soak up, you can learn all the things, but if you're not going to put them into action, then you're just a information collector. Like, you're not, you have to take action, and that's great advice Kelly had. What other questions you guys have?
So I'm a new coach, almost a year, but I'm under Kinsey, and just a little, I guess, some advice is that Kinsey always mentions success leaves clues. So even, I know not watching everybody, but like if Kinsey does something, I'm doing it. I'm like, Kinsey's very successful, Kelly's very successful. There's several coaches that are leaving clues for us, new coaches, and I think just they make this process so easy for us to duplicate. Don't overcomplicate it, just duplicate it, I think is really something I've learned over the last year as a new coach, for sure.
And then Megan, thank you, Stacey, for sharing that. And I agree, because success does leave clues. And I've learned from Kelly, she was who I watched as a baby coach. And I was like, she's doing this, I'm going to do this. Like, there wasn't a question about it. It's like, she's successful, I want to be like her, I'm going to do what she's doing, but in my own way. That's awesome advice. Megan, I'm so sorry. I had you muted, I think. And you said, when you sign up new coaches, if one is your spouse and one is your discount coach, whose leg is on the right versus the left? And we continue to sign discount coaches. So this is not necessarily a matter of right versus left. It's a matter of weak versus strong and legs. And this is something you're going to want when you sign your spouse, you want to talk about it with your upline coach, your direct upline coach, and that's McKenna, I believe. She has a good bird's eye view of which leg is your weak and which leg is your strong. So she'll let you know, hey, your spouse should be on this side, which is generally your weak leg. And then as far as discount coaches, though, you're just going to kind of want to toggle back and forth. You have your spouse on one side, on your weak leg. You're going to want to put your next working coach opposite your spouse. And then from there, as you work to diamond, you're just going to kind of go, back and forth. But that's definitely good information to always cover with your upline. Be like, hey, this girl Susie wants to sign up. She says she wants to work the business. Where do you think I should place her in my downline? And you always have 3 days, 72 hours to switch that person if you feel like you placed them incorrectly. And there's a form in the online office that you can do that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Did I answer all of it? Yes. Okay, I think so. But great question. And it's just very situational. So always reach out to your upline and ask if you ever have a question about any of that.
Okay, I do have one more question.
Yeah, go for it.
So I have challengers that are in the challenge group, but I'm having trouble getting them to actually post and be active in the challenge group. Like, they say they just forget to set it on their phone or add to the challenge group, but they say they're doing the workouts and drinking the Shakeology. So I don't know how else to get them to post.
I know when I was a brand new challenger, I'm very prize driven. So my coach had weekly prizes, and not that everyone needs to be throwing a bunch of money at their challenge groups to get people to be engaged. But I was like, she had us on this little point system that she did. And now I kind of just do more who's showing up the most, and I'll pick my winner through that way. Cause it's kind of obvious in your challenge group who's really putting forth all the effort. But I'll offer even just one prize at the end for everyone votes on who they felt was the biggest participant in the group or the person most inspirational in the group, and they get a prize. Okay. So there might be people who are just prize driven or gift oriented. That's their love language. So those people are going to show up maybe a little bit more. I don't know. What do you guys think, who have been around the block for a while? What you think?
I was going to say one thing that's worked really well for me is, of course, sorry.
This is literally what my house sounded like 5 minutes ago. So
they're playing soccer inside. One thing I've done with a group, especially if you have at least 6 people, you can team people up. So, be like Kinsey and Kelly are together, and you only get points when you both post your workout for the day. So it's kind of giving them that extra accountability where they don't want to let someone else down. So they'll post. And then I also just encourage someone, even if you're doing your workouts at home, please post it, because you could be encouraging somebody else. You posting your workout is going to motivate someone else to work out. So please do it. So that's what I always do.
Something for me, I would say the first 6 months of my challenge groups were the same. It was pretty was posting pictures. And I've of course been in other challenge groups. I'm like, why aren't people posting? And for me, I'm prize driven too. And I started doing just like, you get a journal, and that was like $5 on Amazon. You don't have to go to the post office. You can just mail it right to them. So like, it doesn't have to break the bank, but people are incredibly prize driven. At least my people are also. And now it's become routine for them that it's kind of like you have to start your group posting, and now it's just like they just do it. So, but the prizes were helpful for me too.
Yeah. And also make sure you're leading by example. I always say you should be your best challenger. They should see your sweaty face. Anything you're asking your challengers to do, you should be doing it first and leading by example. So that's also a great way to kind of hopefully help engagement a little bit. And Kelly wanted me to touch on Emerald and why it's important. And I don't know who's on these lines here because I'm not sure who is making that background noise, but I get distracted. So Emerald is when you have 2 active coaches, one on your right leg, one over your left leg, and active meaning that they each have 50 CV of volume. And that's what creates an Emerald coach. So that's the first rank that Beachbody has. That's kind of like you're open for business. You can be a coach and still earn commission and make money, yes. But I feel like if you're on this call right now, your goal is to grow your business, correct? So your goal should be becoming Emerald by the end of the week or by Thursday, because rank advancements happen on Thursday. So you should be Emerald by Thursday. And guys, this is not complicated. It seems very scary to be like, oh, signing someone up as a coach. But really, you should sign your spouse up for many reasons. You start to earn volume under them. Down the road, it's really going to be beneficial to you, and it's something you kind of just have to trust us on. But signing up your spouse is a very, very good strategy to do in the beginning. And then the other person can be like your mom or your sister or your ride or die or whoever. If you were to open a restaurant and you said, hey, come to my restaurant, everybody would come to your restaurant, right? So if you send a message to your friends and said, hey, I'm doing this thing. I just opened my doors for business. It's a health and fitness company. I'm helping people each month get results with these awesome online workouts and the superfood shake and this awesome nutrition plan. And I really, really, really would love your support. Are you in? Can you support me? You know, you should have those people in your life who are willing to support you no matter what your venture is, right? It's like, I always say, it's like if I sold dirt, these people would buy dirt from me. So just know that Emerald is something that you should, if you are wanting to grow your business, if you're a brand new coach, Emerald should just be your natural next step, and you should be able to make it happen within 24, 48 hours from asking those people who are closest to you to support you and show up for you. And it just kind of starts snowballing from there. So Emerald is where you start making team cycle bonuses. So you don't just make commission as you would as just a coach. You earn $12 in a cycle bonus. And it's just, like I said, it's really, really when you say, hey, my doors are open for business. And again, signing up those people is something great to talk with your upline coach about too, specifically, so they can kind of help you along the way. And I muted some lines, so I apologize. I'll have to figure out who I muted and unmute them.
Hey, Kansas Amber, I have a quick little tip.
Yes.
I got this from the Kyra Carlin call about inviting, and like that has completely just changed my mindset. Like she made it so simple. Like I think we're just making it too hard. I have done like 90% of my invites from my Instagram stories the last couple weeks, just like quick, short little things. Like if you swipe up and see who is watching your stories, and then there's like a little arrow, you can message right from there. And I will like go to the last like workout clip or the last clip about me talking about coaching, and I'll just say something super, super simple like, hey girl, thanks for watching my workout clips. Even though I was like totally dying, have you done any workouts like this before? Or if it's like a coaching one, I'll say, girl, like, have you ever thought about coaching? I see you watching me talk about it. Like, I think you'd be awesome. Like that just makes it so simple and gets that conversation started. And then like you can pound out, like you can copy and paste that like 25 times and pound out 25 invites in 5 minutes. I loved how simple she made that. Because she said, if you're spending all of your time in these like super long invites and then you get ghosted, like you're wasting your time. Like those quick copy and paste just gets the conversation started, and then you can start to build on that from there. So I really liked that, and that's definitely been working for me.
Yes, I love that advice too. And I think people, especially newer coaches, I think it can be scary and you kind of feel maybe almost spammy sending messages like that to a lot of different people. But whenever I start to feel like, oh gosh, should I send this message? Should I even invite this person? I'm so embarrassed, because I still feel that way sometimes. Honestly, you guys, I sent 4 messages like that today that made me feel that way. And I was like, I had to stop myself. And I said, no, because what I have to offer can change people's lives, and has changed a lot of people's lives in the last 4.5 years. And if I didn't have the courage to just send a message like Amber just said, then there would be people not on this call right now. There would be people who didn't lose 20, 30, 40 pounds. You know what I mean? Like, we have a gift for people. And so it's almost like stop being selfish and get out of your own way and just send the invite, because you don't know the person on the other line that you could really impact.
Exactly. And I always tell my girls, I'm like, literally, what is the worst that's going to happen? They're going to say, no thanks. And then you're going to move on, and you're going to put them on your not yet list, because they'll probably come around. Like, I spent 6 months not really inviting. I just let people come to me. And I just think, like, where could my business be if I would have just got over myself? Because it's like, the more you do it, it's not that scary. And she talked about it on the National Wake Up Call too. Like, she said everybody on her Facebook friends list is getting an invite. So that's what I've been doing. Like, you can look at your friends list and it filters it by like your college or your school. So I just started with college friends. Like, any Facebook friend that went to the same college as me that is a girl is getting an invite from me. They're your friend and they see what you're doing, and that is an open invitation for you to send that to them. Like, you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. I think Kyra Carlin said that too. I just freaking love her, but it's so true. Like, if it's the right person, then you can't say the wrong thing, and you're not spammy.
Yeah, absolutely. And she wouldn't have said freaking. I'm going to tell you that right now.
I know. I dialed that way back.
But yes, if you guys don't know who we're talking about, it was Kyra Carlin hosted our team call this last few weeks, and it was awesome. And it's definitely recorded on the Hard Hitters page, so you can check it out. And there's a lot of F words, so if you're watching with your kids, just earmuffs. But she has so many great tips in there. And like I said, my first tip, there's going to be tons of information thrown at you guys, and there's so much great content from amazing coaches, not only on our team, but just in the network. So soak it up. But just remember to keep it simple, because we are just here for one reason, and that's to help people.
And that too, like, when you're explaining, you're explaining what a boot camp is, or you're telling them about like the challenge packs, like those can be copy paste messages, because it's the same info. So just save it in your notes and copy and paste it, and maybe tweak a few things depending on who you're talking to, because that is going to save you so much time, and that's super duplicatable for your coaches too.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great tip. I copy and paste so many things in my notes just to have them handy and to help save me time. Totally. Good.
Something that's helped me as a new coach as far as breaking down like the scariness of the inviting is I've changed the word invite to conversation. Sometimes I feel like when we think, we have to invite, it's like, I'm going to get a yes or a no, but you're really just having conversations with these people and sharing, like Kinsey said, I have something that is going to change your life, and here's my story, or what's your story. So starting conversations is also an invitation to join you, essentially. So that helped me feel less scary about inviting.
I love that. You're right, because it can seem intimidating, especially as a new coach. Just be like, invite? What do you mean invite?
I think another thing too that I always try to remind coaches as far as like inviting and getting people to join you is that a lot of your inviting is going to be done through your social media, like just your posts and your consistency showing up. So if like you're messaging someone, you're like, hey, like, have you ever done a workout? You should join my next challenge. The first thing they're going to do is they're going to go to your page and they're going to look at everything on your page and they're going to look at the stuff you're posting and they're going to look at your pictures. So you have to remember that too. It's like cover for yourself on your social media so that when you are inviting people are going to go to your magazine and see what you have to offer them. So just remember that like your consistency over time on social media is just going to help your invites be more effective.
Yeah, absolutely. Because if someone were to get an invite from me and they followed me for at least a day, they're going to know what I'm all about. They're going to know I'm about health and fitness, and I'm a twin mom, and I like wine. And if they get any message from me about any of those three things, it's not going to be random if they followed me for any length of time. So Kelly's right. If you're being consistent, like I said in one of my bullet points, that consistency with your social media is going to be part of your inviting too. Good stuff. I feel like we're covering a lot of really, really good stuff. Any other last minute questions before we pop off? Anybody in the chat box? Sorry if I have you muted. Anybody? We're good? So everyone's going to be Emerald by Thursday, right? Yes? Sweet. All right, you guys. Well, have a great night. And thank you so much for taking the time out of your evening. I know it's busy time, so have a great night. And if any other questions pop up, feel free to put them on the team page, and we'll answer them for you. Good night.